Hey guys, I'm Megan Ray and welcome to my Patreon page and YouTube channel. So I thought for my very first video I would actually open it up to everybody. That means all of my friends and family on Facebook as well. My Patreon doesn't officially start till March 1st, so I thought this would be a great idea to open it up to everyone. That way anybody can kind of come in and see, what the types of projects I'll be doing, the things I'll be showing you through posts and videos. And if anybody hasn't seen my page yet or is kind of on the fence to subscribe, you'll get a better idea of what my Patreon is all about. So I've been thinking all week what I wanted to do for my very first video. I thought I could easily just sit at my easel and paint for you guys, or I could, give you like a grand tour of the studio here. And then I thought, well, why don't I do a little bit of both? So hopefully I'm not going to make this video too long, but I'm going to take you around the room and show you the different projects that I'm currently working on and like the different things that I like to do besides just oil painting. And then I'm going to give you a very simple and basic how I start a painting and the things that I use for an oil painting. And then at the very end of the video will be a time-lapse or sped up version of me sitting down to paint a project for you guys. So before I get started, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's signed up early. You guys have actually helped me reach 2 of the goals so far, and we haven't even officially started yet. The first one we hit was if I hit $50, I would do a shout out to everyone who signed up on my very first video. So at the end, I will do that shout out for you guys. Then we hit $75, which means I will do a live stream painting session where you guys can come in and watch me paint and ask me questions. Hopefully the second week of March I will be able to do that for you guys. I still have to get my computer hooked up through Ethernet instead of wirelessly. It's the only way my GoPro will allow me to live stream. So that's the tentative schedule right now. Hopefully by then I will be hooked up and ready to go. And then I just wanted to say that I am still brand new to video making. I'm still working on getting better tools and equipment to create these for you guys. And I'm also not like crazy confident and comfortable yet talking on camera, so I'm probably going to trip over my words a little bit and say a lot. Hopefully over time, with some experience, these videos will get better and better in that area as well. So yeah, I'm going to unhook the camera and take you guys around the room and show you some of my projects. Alright? The first thing I wanted to show you guys was my cosplay project. For those of you who don't know what cosplay is, it's essentially costume building and portraying characters from movies, anime, and video games. All of the costumes that I've made in the past have been found items from places like Goodwill and other thrift stores, pieces online, even Halloween costumes from those really cheap Halloween stores that I've kind of just torn apart and pieced back together to create the characters that I'm looking at portraying. But now I'm learning how to sew and make my own accessories, armor, and weapons out of foam and plastic. I started using a program called Pepakura, which is a 3D modeling program to create 3D models out of paper, and the cosplay community has transferred that into making it out of foam instead of paper so that you can actually wear it like real armor. I'm not going to go too much in depth with this right now. I'm still needing some safety equipment and other tools for the EVA foam. I found out when sanding this stuff down, you get a lot of dust in the air that's really not healthy to breathe in. So that will be in future videos hopefully. And like I said, I'm learning how to sew, so I have a couple pieces done up already. This was my first sewing project from a pattern on my own, so it's a little rough on the edges, but for a costume, I'm pretty proud of it so far, and I can't wait to continue doing this kind of thing. So hopefully you're looking forward to videos about that as well as, and not just my painting and drawing. This is another creative avenue for me, so hopefully you guys will enjoy it as much as I do. Next, I will take you over to my drawing table and show you a project I've got going on over there. This is my drafting table or drawing table. It's actually original to the house. When Cameron and I moved in, there was an office space down in the basement that I used for my studio for a little over a year. and the drafting table was built right into the wall. So when I moved my studio up to the second story, I really wanted to take the table with me. Cameron ripped it off the wall and put it on its own 4 legs, and now it actually has a storage compartment underneath that you get to by lifting up the drafting table part. So I can keep all my paper and drawing accessories and everything stored down there when I'm not using them. So this is where I do all of my sketching in my sketchbook, all of my pre-planning and brainstorming for paintings. Occasionally I'll get out my charcoals and pastels to doodle around with. As you can see right here, I have a pastel started. A friend of mine from high school, who's also an amazing artist, found these things called pan pastels online, and she just had to try them. And she was generous enough to send me a set to try with her. I'm familiar with pastels already, but in this form, the soft chalk pastel, or in pencil form. These, however, come in these cute little petri dishes, and they're applied to the paper completely different. I mean, normal pastels, you just scratch at the paper and it creates a lot of dust everywhere, and these are actually applied with tools and paintbrushes and sponges, and it doesn't create as much fallout or dust everywhere to be breathing in and getting all over you and, you know, your furniture and stuff. So in future videos, I will probably take you through the differences of pan pastels and regular pastels, me learning the tools, and I guess pan pastels can be used as a base for mixed or multimedia projects, which I've really not explored much, and I really like to try new mediums and new art forms, so I think that would make a really nice video in the future. So now I'm going to take you over to my easel and show you some stuff over there. Over here at my easel, I'll show you guys the things that I use to create an oil painting. First is a handmade canvas. I just started hand making these myself recently. Cameron actually cuts out the wood, bevels the inside, I don't know if you guys can see that in there, glues it together, nails it down, and then him and I together will stretch the canvas over top of the frame, staple it down, and then I paint a acrylic gesso over the top, sand it down a couple of times to create a nice smooth and tight painting surface. I also still use the pre-made kind. I usually buy these in bulk, and to keep prices low, you can see the store uses a very thin canvas. It's not quite the same, whereas my handmade is made with a number 10 duck canvas, which is, you know, in layman's terms, just a thicker, high quality canvas. I've been to certain stores that the pre-mades have been so thin that you can literally like poke your finger right through the canvas. So I mean, I still use these. They work, but nothing beats the handmade ones, so I'm really happy that I've been able to start creating my own canvases, making my own sizes, and that sort of deal. So underneath is my painting palette. My palette is made of glass. It is an old storm window out of a camper that my grandfather got me. I've used wooden palettes, plastic ones, the paper kind that you just rip the sheets out when you're done, but to me nothing beats a glass palette. When you're done painting, or if the paint dries on there, you can just scrape it away with a razor blade, where if you were to try to do that with a wooden or plastic one, you're just going to dig right into those materials and never get it clean. So it's kind of neat that I got to repurpose this. It could be sitting in the junkyard somewhere, but instead I get to use it as my painting palette for forever. I use old cut up Holy t-shirts, rags, towels as my painting rags. You can use paper towels, but I've noticed that you go through them really, really fast and they soak up a lot of the paint and become a gross, goobery mess. Whereas these guys hold a lot of paint and last quite a while. So I have friends and family who send me their old Holy t-shirts and stuff that aren't good for Goodwill anymore. So these last me for quite a while. My easel here was a gift from my grandfather. He handmade this for me when I first started getting into painting. As you can see, it's seen a lot of projects. It's pretty covered in paint. I will probably never get rid of my easel. It has a lot of sentimental value to me. The only part is I'm going to have Cameron replace the lip for me. It's gotten pretty bumpy over the years, and people ask me why don't I wipe that off. Well, I guess I kind of like it. It kind of is like a little memories of all my projects, and it feels very artsy to me. It looks used, so in its own way, it's kind of inspirational. My paint splatters, for the most part, are here to stay until they get to be that cakey. To start a painting, I do a very light sketch with a pastel pencil or a watercolor pencil. I don't put a lot of details in here. I usually just do a very quick outline, and where the eyes, nose, mouth, major details like highlights, if they're there, that sort of thing. When I was in school, my professor was always the kind of guy who was like, throw your paint on there, just start moving it around, and I was never super comfortable painting that way. I like to have some guidelines or a starting point with my paintings. I mean, you can also draw with your oil paint the sketch outline, but I like doing it this way. I feel like I can get things more correct prospectively this way, so there's no right or wrong answer. You just, do whatever's comfortable to you. As far as paint goes, like I said, you guys know I'm mainly a oil painter. I don't really have a favorite brand of paint, at least not yet. Most of my paint is Winsor & Newton brand, only because it's the most readily available brand typically at your, Michael's and Hobby Lobby. I've kind of branched out a little bit and tried some other stuff online through like Jerry's Artorama. They sell pretty much anything and everything art-wise. So I've tried a few different brands. Hopefully one of these days I'll probably find a brand that I only paint with that because they're the best, but I haven't gotten there yet. I've painted in acrylics in the past. Eventually I'd like to start getting into those again. Watercolors I would like to actually take physical lessons on. I've only tried watercolors maybe like once or twice in my life and failed miserably. So it's an entirely different universe when thinking in layers and from, lights to darks instead of darks to light. So a physical art class in that would be really beneficial for me, I think. And I'll get into more details about my brushes and paint and how to build a canvas, all the prep work that goes into creating a painting in future videos. But I just wanted to give you guys a general idea of how I get started. This will actually be the painting I'm going to do for you later on in the video. I'm going to take the camera back over to my desk and wrap this up for you guys, and yeah, I'll be right back. So this is going to wrap up the Chatty Cathy portion of my video. I just wanted to do that shout out for you guys who have signed up for my Patreon early. So first shout out goes to my family. Thank you so much for being so supportive of me. It's really nice having a supportive family when you're an artist. I know some artists out there kind of feel like they're the black sheep, but my family has never made me feel that way, so thank you guys so much. Thank you to my grandma and mom and dad. Thank you to my brother and sister-in-law for allowing me to personalize some of the prints I send you guys to your newborn Johan. It's really cool that I get to kind of, send a little piece of me home since I don't get to see my family very often, living 500 miles away. So thank you so much for letting me be able to do that. Next shout out goes to a very good friend of mine who I've known for like 7 years, but we've never actually met in person. Michael, or I know you as Miney Cow. You were my first patron. I can't thank you enough for that. You really are the best, and I really hope we are friends forever. Next to Zach, you and your family have always been so supportive of my artwork, and I know you and your parents own quite a bit of my art, so thank you again for pledging. Megan, I met you in college. You've purchased a piece of mine before. Thank you so much for your really, really generous pledge. Next, Holly, we met in high school, and you've purchased a few pieces of mine before, so thank you so much for being a supporter of mine. I know you're always sharing some of my stuff, so thank you for that. And I really hope you guys are here to stay. I'll be posting more videos and general posts and works in progress pretty soon. March 1st is almost here, so that's when the first kickoff is, and I'll be sending you guys your goodies in the mail. Another shout out, not to a pledge, but to Nicole for sending me that beautiful set of pastels. I will pay you back again someday, but it's really great having a fellow artist friend to bounce ideas with and to share stuff with, so thank you again for those. And yeah, I guess that's it for my very first video. I hope you guys enjoyed what you've seen so far, and if you guys want to see more, check out my page. The link is below. You'll see all the rewards and things that you get on the right hand side. And next is the time-lapse or sped-up version of my video, so I hope you stick around for that. And I will see you guys on the next video, alright? Thanks again. Bye!